On January 28, 2019, Tech was saddened to learn of a serious incident at our Greenhills Operations in British Columbia, Canada. The incident resulted in a very serious injury that nearly took the life of a member of one of our contracting partners. Background to the incident and sequence of events. Activities related to blasting preparation, loading, and execution are contracted to an expert external provider. On the day of the incident, a blasting truck had a flat tire in the mine and was brought into the contractor's maintenance shop for repair. A mechanic and his supervisor commenced the task of changing a medium-duty wheel assembly on the truck. The flat tire was on the rear of the truck, and it was one of the inside dual tires. They proceeded to remove the good tire in order to access the flat tire behind it. Then they removed the flat tire and placed it aside. The supervisor went to the lunchroom and asked the mechanic to join him and resume the task after their break. The mechanic decided to continue working for a little longer. The mechanic proceeded to prepare for the installation of the new tire. He used a tire that had been dropped off by an external tire supplier the week before. Once the flat wheel assembly was off, he rolled the new wheel assembly over to the truck. We don't have direct evidence of exactly what was being done at the time of the incident, but given the available evidence, the most credible scenario is that the mechanic was in the process of levering the new wheel assembly into position by using a sledgehammer. After heating his meal in the lunchroom, the supervisor heard a large explosion. He rushed out to the workshop to see what happened. The supervisor found the mechanic lying on the workshop floor, severely injured. A wheel assembly had catastrophically failed. The supervisor called for help, and the mine rescue team was activated to respond. The fast and effective response from the mine rescue team played a significant role in preventing a fatality in this incident. The mechanic was transferred to an ambulance and airlifted to an acute care facility. We are incredibly fortunate that the mechanic has now largely recovered from his physical injuries and is back home with his family. However, the ripples from this event will have long-lasting effects for him and his family. Key contributing factors. A comprehensive investigation was completed after the incident, and there were many learnings. This part of the summary will explain the answers to one key question. Why did the wheel assembly catastrophically fail? The wheel assembly that had been dropped off by an external tire supplier was delivered and stored at an operating pressure of approximately 120 psi. It is believed the mechanic used a sledgehammer as a lever to put the wheel assembly in place during installation. The most credible scenario is that the wheel assembly exploded at this time. The wheel assembly was a multi-piece assembly consisting of rim base, flange ring, locking ring, and tire. A safe installation of these components requires that the locking ring be installed in the right direction to achieve proper seating of all components. Expert forensic analysis and opinion indicates that the wheel assembly had an incorrectly installed locking ring. It is likely that the ring had been installed in reverse. During the investigation, it was identified that the locking ring had no unique identification marks, that would allow the ring to match to the other components. It had no "do not inflate" markings to help identify when a ring is installed incorrectly. The locking ring also did not have a raised tab that also helps to prevent reverse installation. All components were subjected to high-resolution digital scanning. Finite element analysis was undertaken on the wheel assembly. When the model was run on the components being installed correctly, the model was not able to reproduce a catastrophic failure when forces were applied to the tire. When the model was repeated with the locking ring in reverse, it showed there was an ability to inflate the tire to operating pressure while the locking ring was installed backwards. It also showed that this was a very unstable situation, and the wheel assembly would catastrophically fail when forces were applied. As a result of the above, the wheel assembly catastrophically failed when the mechanic was in the process of installing. Key learnings. There were many contributing factors identified during the investigation. The following are our key learnings from the investigation that we believe must be shared as much as possible, both internally and externally. The risk of handling multi-piece wheel assemblies at operating pressure had not been adequately risk assessed to identify critical control requirements. There was a significant reliance on using an external third-party supplier to provide safe wheel assemblies. Following the incident, we have asked all parts of our business to review their current practices to ensure wheel assemblies are not transported or handled at operating pressure. Modeling showed there was an ability to inflate the tire to operating pressure with the locking ring installed backwards. Locking rings must have a means to prevent reverse installation. This could be in the form of warnings stamped into the ring or raised tabs in the ring that make it difficult to install backwards. Given that the locking ring in the incident had no unique identification stamped on it, it should have been removed from service and destroyed. There were other contributing factors identified during the incident investigation. However, we believe that sharing the ones highlighted in this video will go a long way towards preventing similar incidents in our company and across our industry. In summary, if your team works with multi-piece tire assemblies, please take an opportunity to review your current practices. 1. Do not transport and handle wheel assemblies at operating pressure. Work with your tire providers to have them deliver safe tires. 2. All multi-piece wheel assembly components must be uniquely identifiable in order to be matched. If they can't be matched, remove them from service. 3. Locking rings should have a means to prevent reverse installation via warning markings and/or raised tabs.